Howdy ho, everybody. Today's video is going to be about the Hyde Park Railroad Station Museum. I always have these videos on here where I'm talking about, ballasting track, or I go to a person's house and I show you their layout, or, the Amherst show, different shows that I go to. I like to do the videos, and I hope you enjoyed them as well. But during the most of those videos, when you watch my videos, go back and watch all my videos. You'll notice that a lot of times I'll mention the Hyde Park Station or the Hudson Valley Railroad Society, but I haven't done a video about the station. So that's what this is. I'm going to show you some of the features of the station, but you're always welcome to come down. Thursday nights, the group gets together and we usually go down and do some work on the station, or just get together just to BS. And that's on Thursday nights between 6:30 and 8:30 at night. It's located at 34 River Road in Hyde Park, New York. I think that's the address. But go on Google, and Google will tell you exactly where it is and how to get there. And in the summertime, when we have it open up for museum tours, it's usually open on Saturdays, the times will be posted there as well. If you need to and you want to email us, and if you have like a group that wants to come and see the museum, do that, and we'll make a special trip to go down there and open it up for you. So enjoy the video about the Hyde Park Station Railroad Museum. And here we are. Welcome to the Hyde Park Railroad Museum. This station was built in 1914. This is the third station that was built here. There was two others, but I'll get into the history about that later on. The notable thing I wanted to show on the outside here was the sign. It says New York 79. B stands for Buffalo, 361 miles from here to Buffalo, 79 to New York City on the southern tracks. Right now there's two tracks that are still used by Amtrak here, and then late at night they sometimes have the garbage train come down when the passenger service ends. It's across the river, which I'll show video later, is the passenger area. CSX is the one that usually runs that. The station was used by Franklin Delano Roosevelt during his, when he was governor of New York. He used to come down to the station and head up to Albany to do his governor duties. When he became president, they used to pick him up at his own house, which is south from here, not right around the corner, actually, to his mansion. So let me show you the inside of the station. Before I show you the inside of the station, if you can hear across the river there, I don't know if I can zoom in or not. In the wintertime, you can see the train pretty good. In the summertime, there's a lot of trees and leaves and bush that cover up the tracks. Here, let me step up here. See if I can get a better shot. I don't know if you can actually see it. I can see it from here. But that's the freight line. I said in the earlier thing that it was passenger. It's not passenger. It's the freight side. And that goes up the tracks there and goes up to Kingston. Actually crosses over underneath Route 9W. I'm making sure I'm getting the words right. And that runs the entirety all the way down the Hudson down to the city. So here's the rear of the station. Okay, that was the main doors coming out, which, as you can see, we just newly repaired those doors. The other ones were shot. And that is the baggage room door, where they used to bring all the baggage out for the trains. We're still doing repairs down here, trying to get some things fixed. So if you see anything you say, wow, that's broken, they should fix that, we're working on it. The way this used to be was in the... right now it's a 2-track system, The first station was built here in 1849, which probably was closer to the tracks. We do not have any pictures of or plans of what that station looked like. Don't know why, nobody ever took any pictures, but back in 1849 there wasn't cameras, there wasn't a lot of Polaroids. The second station, which I'll show you a picture of inside, was built from 1880 to 1914, and then it was replaced by this station. The station used to have, if you look right about there, you can see some handrails. That actually is a tunnel that goes underground and goes across to over there, and that was the people, if they wanted to go to the southbound track, they would go through the tunnel and come up on the other side. There used to be a canopy or a shed for people to walk up into. Same thing for over here. They were taken down. The tunnel is still there. I have not yet been able to see it, but I've heard that CSX comes up once in a while to do an inspection. So people used to cross the tracks. The second station used to be closer to the tracks, but they turned it into a 4-track system where there was a track in this area right here, and then there was a track right in this area here. If you look, you can see some spots in the blacktop where it's splitting a little bit. That is because I was told the railroad ties are still underneath there. I don't know if the rails are, but the railroad ties are. And here comes one of the passenger lines. I don't know if he'll honk or not. Doesn't have to. That's one of the Albany trains that rides past the station several times a day. One of the things we get to see from time to time out here are tugs and barges. They come up the river. And as you can see, there's still some ice on the river as this is March of 2026. It's one of the warmest days that we've had in a long time. That is a photograph of the second station that was built here. That's the one that was demolished to move back for the 4-track system. Some other notable things that have happened in this station that have come to pass is that the Lincoln inaugural train came through here on February 15th, 1861, and then again came through his funeral train April 26, 1865, came by these tracks. We actually have outside a plaque stating about the Lincoln funeral ghost train. People say that on that date, people have seen the ghost train come by the station. I guess it's like an eerie wise tale. In June of 1939, King George visited FDR at his mansion. There's a picture of them. They had what they call a hot dog picnic. The woman in the middle is FDR's mother, and I was told that she was quite upset that FDR decided to have hot dogs and I guess beer and for the King and Queen of England to come to visit him. But they say that King George, when he had a hot dog, he said, "Give me another one. They were so good." So we usually have in June our hot dog picnic. Like I said, if you go into the website, hydeparkstation.org, it'll tell you when those dates are available, and people can come down and you get a free hot dog and sit down and converse with people. The station is a little disarray right now because this is the winter months. So there's stuff that's sitting out. Usually it's in a cleaner and it's in better condition because we set it up for summer tours. So right now we have stuff just scattered around. I got my tripod sitting here. And I got stuff hanging around. We're working on things. This is the cart that I restored. If you look in the index of my videos, you'll see that I have a restoration video where I actually rebuilt this and put it back together again. And you can watch that at your leisure. I'll tell you, it's long and sometimes it's boring because I did it in parts and pieces of how it was going back together. As far as the station is concerned here, We have Oscar. Oscar's waiting to get on the train to go to war. One of our many mannequins. We have Oscar there. We also have 2 mannequins at the ticket booth. We lovingly call the one on the side there Heimlich, because he looks like he's from German descent. So we call her Ava, trying to get a ticket. This big piano case, it looks like a piano case, was made that way so that we can stack our chairs in, which you can't see on the other side. That's where the chairs are. Some other notable things that we have in the station that are pretty cool is we have a scale. This actually works. All you do is step on the scale and you put a penny in and it'll come up and tell you your weight. I think it's broken because it always pegs the needle for me, but you know, that's muscle mass mostly. This was the men's room and actually was at the time a smoking lounge. The smoking lounge and bathroom for the men. The women's room did not have a smoking lounge. They did have a seat in there, just like these benches, and the men's room had the benches, but now we use that as our office. The only bathroom we have now is off the kitchen. We have a little kitchen area here. And then we have our storeroom, which actually used to be the men's bathroom. We just put that doorway in. Well, let me show you this. One of the accomplishments this year is we wanted to get our bathroom redone. Try to make it a little bit more into the 1940s and 30s. But we did add a, what do you call it, 21st century fan for people like me. A couple other notable things. We have a headlight. I'll turn this sucker on. It is quite bright. Of course, you know when I'm holding the video cameras when I can't find it. There we go. It is quite bright. And this headlight actually came off of this, let me shut the light off. Came off of this Penn Central engine. It was an electric locomotive, and that was the headlight. You can see in the photograph, trying to get that to focus. That was the headlight that came off of that engine. This front panel came off of a steam engine, number 3001, which right now actually has been brought inside. I can't remember where it is. For the life of me right now, I can't remember where it is, but they're actually rebuilding it so that they can put it back on the tracks to use it again. Let's see what other notable things we have in here. Well, we try to keep the station so you are immersed in the time of coming in, like in the 1930s, 1940s. We have a working phone booth. Phone booth does work. Here, it does. The phone rings. You shut the door. Lights come on. Fan's supposed to come on. Why it's not coming on? I don't know. Oh, somebody might have hit the switch. There we go. Somebody shut the switch off. But the fan comes on. And it's a working phone booth. You can actually dial out on it. It's fun to watch some of the younger crowd come in. You tell them to dial somebody. They have no clue how to do it. One thing that we like is our little spittoon here. We don't really use it. Or I at least haven't seen anybody use it. And I mentioned the luggage cart before. Luggage cart, we have some old milk cans on there with some old luggage, and I got some steamer trunks. We have an apple machine. We're trying to get that repaired. It's not working right now, but it's supposed to. We're trying to get it set up so you might be able to actually be able to pull down an apple. I think it's for a nickel. I'm not exactly sure what it is, or a penny. This is a penny chiclet machine. This does work. Use a penny in here and you can grab a little box of chiclets. I will tell you that if you do decide to get one, make sure you soften it up before you start chewing on it. You might break a tooth. And we sell t-shirts, and we also have our, if you've seen the videos on our website, we have a T-Track competition and showing at the station where you can come and you can buy these T-track modules. You take them home, you set them up the way you want, you bring them back, you hook them up together, and we just did that a couple days ago. We had one of those here at the station where we were running the T-track. This is our display room. In our display room we have a couple railroad setups, N scale. This was featured in Model Railroad magazine, Model Railroader. I'm not sure of the date, but it was in there. And then we have different little displays going on in here. The bridge set up, some of the awards, and some of the memorabilia that we've collected. This here is a representation of what the station looked like back when it had a 4-track system. You had the 4 tracks, and then you had a spur that came off for getting onto the train here, and then another spur that went down to the freight house and the coal house. From inside here, that pavilion was the old freight house, and just past that there was the coal house. That's what's left of our freight house. And the coal house, there's a wall down there of some rock and cement and stone that's left of what the coal house is. And they used to have livestock here. And the coal house, the people in the village of Hyde Park or town of Hyde Park would come down and get their coal from the station for their heating at home. We've had donations. Oh, and just so you know, this station runs only on donations. Any donations made are welcome. Some of these engines were donated by a person whose name I do not know because we never got to actually thank him. He just brought some of the engines down to donate them. I can't pronounce his name too well, so I'll just aim at it. Joe built this train car here, of the coach car from New York Central. I'm going to be taking that home one of these days so I can fix it and get some lights in it. And we have our displays with our slideshow of different things that go on from New York Central and from the station in the time. You can actually see these online. You can watch the slideshow right online. This here is a representation of a winter scene made by one of our members. Another N-scale layout. Did a beautiful job. And then we have different displays, different things. We have an old phone. It doesn't work except for the bell. And it does still have all the mechanics inside. A scale, a luggage scale. This was the baggage room. And in this baggage room, there was no ceiling. It was more of a loft area. So the baggage area, we decided to make this our display area because there's no need for baggage anymore. And then we have different things. Walking this way, we're walking into the ticket office. I just finished repainting and staining all the wood in here, trying to get everything ready. We have a Heimlich right there. The furniture that is in here is not the original furniture. The original furniture is gone. I'll go into the history of that, but I'm just showing you all this stuff right now. Clock on the wall. We know there was a clock on the wall because one of the old pictures we have shows a clock. Somebody took a photo outside and you can see the clock on the wall on the inside. We have a working telegraph for people to try. And if you pick up the phone inside the ticket office, I don't know if I can get it close to the microphone. Hold on a second, I'm looking at my camera now trying to figure out where the microphone is. But it's FDR talking about the attack at Pearl Harbor, so you can listen to him. And then we got all kinds of things there. We got like the conductor's hats and some lanterns. That there is a heater they used to use on the switch track. We even got some old tickets here. What's that? New York to Beacon. Many such things. But this is our baggage room, and the baggage room is also, like I said, our display room. One thing we like to display is our O-gauge layout. We usually take this to shows as a portable layout. We'll have it shows for kids to be interactive with. As you can see, we have all these little key fobs. And the key fobs actually run the trains. This is Thomas the tank engine. He's on the outside there. And we have different fobs that you can use. And a whistle. Gates. There it is. Here's the other gate right here. And we have the gate man that comes out. And all run by the key fob. And sometimes we'll have this at the station displayed, but other times, most of the time, we usually have it in the stock room, in our storeroom, and we bring it out at shows for display. Off our baggage room, if we go up the staircase here, is our HO model railroad layout. Now, like I said, this is wintertime, so right now we're doing some work. We're trying to put in a yard, get things fixed, make sure everything is operating correctly. Let me turn on the layout. We try to use Blue Nami chips in our engines so that it can be interactive with the kids. We have like little iPads and stuff for the kids to be able to run the trains. The one engine we have here is actually a camera train. Here you see here, I'll come right over here. And I don't know if you'll see me in the video. Oh, wait a second. There we go. There I am. And we have that going around the tracks. And it gives a different perspective of the railroad and the layout. Like I said, this was the baggage room. One little neat thing to know, they have a hole a hole in the floor. They didn't have it here for dogs. They had a hole in the floor which actually still pops out so that they could get sheets of plywood up on the floor here so they could make the layout and put it together. See, this is down in the baggage room. That's the hole in the ceiling to bring the plywood up. Now, this you won't see on the tour, but I am going to bring you down here anyway, just so you can see what it looks like, into the bowels of the station, into the basement. And it basically looks like a basement. You gotta remember, the station was built in 1914, so we didn't have oil heat. That tank was placed in there later on, or the oil burner. This is where we do some of our work, our shop work, to get things fixed and stuff like that. One of the neat notable things here is there's a plywood piece of plywood there. That's actually the old coal chute. Outside there's a manhole cover where they used to drop the coal down in here for the coal furnace to heat the building. But now this is just our basement. And like I said, we just use it to do some work. We have some tools down here donated. We have some extra terracotta roof that we're hoping when we get the roof fixed they'll be able to use it. That was donated from the Poughkeepsie station. We got some more down there. And, you know, it's just a basement. But you don't get to see this on the tour. You don't get to see... those are old, I think, steam pipe holders. I'm not exactly sure. I'm such a young guy, I don't know. I don't know if that was part of the coal bin or not. Or that was just a clean out for the coal. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. The old water lines. But, you know, How often do you get to see an old basement from 1914? And this one dog of mine will not come down the staircase. He does not like coming down that staircase. I was told where this air intake for the grate was actually the way to get into the basement with a ladder. That was one of the things I heard, but then I was told that that staircase is on the original blueprints that we just came up, and that's how they used to get into the basement. So let me give you a little bit of history about the station. Like I said, the first station that was built here was 1849. No pictures, no blueprints. We have no idea what it even looked like. It could have been a shack for all we know. Don't know. The second station was built in 1880 to 1914 when this station was built because they went to a 4-track system. They wanted to move the station back farther for the 4 tracks. So that station was probably sitting out there in where our courtyard is now. In 1956, this station became what they call a whistle stop. And what that means is that if you wanted to get on the train, or if you want to get off the train, you come here to get on the train, they would put a signal out for the train to stop to pick you up. Or if you were on the train, I guess maybe like in the old days where the guy pulls a cord and everybody rushes forward. But if you wanted to stop at this station, you would have to let the conductor know. And that's what they call it, was a whistle stop. And then in 1958, New York Central decided to close the station altogether. In the 1960s, the 3rd and 4th track that was in here was finally torn up because after World War II, Eisenhower came out with the Eisenhower Interstate Program. It kind of made the railroad companies diminish in transportation for passengers and freight because it was just easier to do it on the road. So the highways actually kind of killed some of the railroad industry. So in the 60s, they tore up the 3rd and 4th track because they didn't need it anymore. So now they have just the northbound and the southbound track on this side for passenger, and then the other side they have freight, and there's sidings. So there's sometimes right across the river here you can see 2 trains passing each other. So there's 2 sides on that one. But I think down farther south, I think it might go to a single track. I don't know. Don't quote me. In 1965, it was a great year. It was the year I was born. The station was put up for sale. Nobody bought it. And then in the 70s, they decided that the town of Hyde Park decided to give it to one of the school districts or schools for a high school teen center, so that the teens could come down there and meet as a community thing. That lasted for about 2 years, and nothing against the teens, but they kind of destroyed the station. The ticket booth was all rebuilt. That was totally gone. If you look at the slides on the website, you'll see pictures of what it looked like in the 70s when they started to rebuild it. In 75, the station was scheduled to be demolished, and the Hudson Valley Railroad Society went to the town of Hyde Park and said, "Hey, we'd like to take the station over. We're going to try to make it into a museum and use it for getting together with other members for meetings and stuff." So the town of Hyde Park rents us the station for $1 a year. I've never seen that dollar, but we rent it for $1 a year. In 1982, it was registered as one of the historical places in the United States, a historical marker in 1982. Since then, now we've done a lot of work. Not particularly me. I've done some work here. They appointed me station master, and I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. And I'm also on the board of trustees now, and it's because I fit the jacket. Now it's because they had some faith in me to accomplish some things down here, which I've been trying to work hard on doing. This is all volunteer. This place works only on donations. There's no here at train. Cross River. Works only on donations. Right now we're working with the town of Hyde Park to try to get a grant so that we can get our roof fixed, because the station was built by, hey, shh, doggies are here and they don't like people walking by. Come here, Bradley, come here. The station was built by Vanderbilt. Yep, train going by. That one is the old train. Vanderbilt built the station, and the guys who designed the station is the same people who designed the Grand Central Terminal down in New York City. He liked the Santa Fe look, so we have a terracotta roof. So the station's been here since 1914. The roof is leaking. We need to get it repaired. But we've been doing some work ourselves. As you've seen, the bathroom, we got the doors fixed, and little by little, we're trying to make this place a fantastic museum for everybody to come down to see. If you want to come down, there's an email address, and I'll put it up there or somewhere around here, hydeparkstation.org, all one word. You could be able to come email if you want to bring a group down, like students that want to see the place. We will set up a time to have you come down here. Thursday nights between 6:30 and 8:30 is when the club usually comes down here. We hang out, talk, get some things done. Or in the summertime, we have it open on Saturdays. I think it's like from 1 to 5. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. I can't remember. But if you go into the Google and you Google Hyde Park Railroad Museum, it'll come up, and I'll make sure that we have the times set on there for the summertime for people to come down and take a look. So please come down. Come see the Hyde Park Station Railroad Museum. We would be glad to have you come down. And thanks for watching the video.